Hello everybody and welcome to the Dota 2 Champions League games for tonight. We had to cancel earlier, so we are only going to be doing one series of the night, but guys, it's going to be a doozy. We got Fnatic versus Power Rangers. Both these teams are actually tied up right now with one win and two different draws, so both of them could definitely use a clean win right here, right now, in order to get themselves a favorable point system in the Dota 2 Champions League. So let's get right into it, guys. Welcome in my co-caster, Mr. Pimpmuckl, is going to be joining me once again.
Hello, and well, what can I say? Fnatic against Power Rangers, you mentioned it's going to be a really good one, and it's always the best games when both teams kind of have to win two games, because suddenly we're going to see those crazy picks, those crazy pocket strats. But so far, well, maybe not going to be seeing any of those, because Power Rangers banning out the Wisp against Fnatic. Yeah, that's a very smart one.
Yeah, I mean, you either got to like ban out the Wisp, or you need to take it yourself if you have first pick. And Power Rangers, since they don't have that first pick, it's not a surprise. They're going to ban it out, as well as the Shadow Demon, who has been a popular support in some of the CIS scene. It seems to, in other regions, not be quite as popular as he once was. Like the Shadow Demon Centaur was like the be-all, end-all of 1-2 pickups, but has fallen off a little bit. Instead, we're going to see an Ancient Apparition picked up for Fnatic, while Power Rangers, they're getting just a classic combo in and of themselves, a Mirana Bane combo.
Yeah, I mean, Mirana is still so good. A little bit of a nerf on the vision on her arrow was all there really was in 6.81. So she's still pretty much just as good as she always was. Excellent early game, great stun, a lot of control, a great teamfight initiation ultimate, or just a disruptive ultimate. And then she can even go very hard carry style. I mean, she's just great in general. And so far, there is a lot which can just grief her. Ancient Apparition, Global Range, Ice Blast. She doesn't have too much HP. And the Centaur as well. But, I mean, you've got a Bane for this sort of stuff. He can just bail you out each and every time.
Real quick, guys, we had something blow up in Studio 1, so we are currently working on Studio 2, so just a standard sort of deal. Tweet me at DotaCapitalist if there are any audio issues or anything like that. I ran a real quick test before we dropped the old stream and started up the new stream. I ran a real quick test, and everything seemed to be fine, but you never know. You never know once we start actually executing. Second round of bans going to come out, though. Puck as well as the Luna is going to be banned away by Fnatic, while the Treant Protector and the Tiny taken out by Power Rangers. Treant Protector, definitely a very, very smart ban there. And I like how they just ban out Tiny no matter what up against Fnatic. They don't want to give up the Wisp Tiny in the beginning, so they ban out the Wisp. Tiny is all right. If you're going to pick up in the 1-2, so be it, Fnatic. That's fine. But when it comes to the second set of picks here, they're going to ban out the Tiny just because, you know what, we've seen Fnatic run Tiny before. They just love that guy too much to not pick him up, even if they don't have a Wisp.
Yeah, exactly. Fnatic, they're known to just pick up the Tiny whenever they want, and most of the time, they just go and pick up a line, and then you have this crazy combination. You've got an Avalanche Toss combination, which is ridiculous amounts of damage anyways, and then you also have just those stuns follow-up, and I'm still kind of curious to see how the line is going to unfold in the current patch, because he didn't get changed or anything, but his 2.5 second stun, or well, it's an X, on level 1, I feel like it's so good. And especially in those dual lines, suddenly he gets leveled, suddenly there's got to be a Thing of Death available, and suddenly he's just one-shotting people running around and killing supports. Well, pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I do like that Power Rangers mounting up for a lot of team fight potential right now, but Fnatic, they're not shying away from team fight of their own. With the Centaur, he's certainly one of the most adept offlaners at being able to force fights around that 15 to 25 minute mark, but supports are getting a little bit greedy here. With the Ancient Apparition Shadow Shaman combo, those are two supports who can do a lot of damage, one with Chilling Touch, the other with Ether Shock, but they are kind of lacking in the early laning phase. Just a little bit. They're not really heroes you want to go try versus try. So if Power Rangers choose to go that route, they may find themselves in a very favorable position with easy pickoffs against those two supports, or they may just go run dual lanes or even a defensive tri-lane and just have Sand King jungle his way to victory by using his Sandstorm to farm up a fast 9 or 10 minute Blink Dagger.
Yeah, I actually very much agree. I think it just comes down, if Fnatic pick up a very hard carry, something like a Morphling, who doesn't have the best lane presence, I can totally see Power Rangers going aggro try. But if there is a more active one, something which has a bit of control early on, you might as well just go into your own jungle. And you mentioned it, 9 to 10 minute Blink Dagger Sand King is really scary. And this is pretty much what made Sand King such a viable tier 1, tier 2 pickup nowadays, because he can actually farm up his Blink Dagger pretty much no matter what. Even if you do some warding in the jungle, he's just completely fine with one hard camp, and then he's just going to stack it up and, well, roam a bit here, and obviously just use his Sandstorm to his full potential. And yeah, so far, man, Power Rangers, they're taking a sweet as time. It still could be Mirana in the mid lane, maybe some Bane Mirana mid shenanigans, but I don't know. Might as well just go tri lane.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of want to see an aggro try here, but it's also going to depend on what Fnatic reveal as their other tri lane here. What carry they're really going to be running, because it may be a little too risky here. Power Rangers, they're just left with what should be 2 solos. If they do run Mirana tri-lane, we just need to see 2 more solos to be picked up by them. And I don't know. Pimpmuckl, what are you really favoring right now as far as mids go? I think with the 2 supports you have, maybe you could get a little bit greedy and go for like some sort of pickoff, like for example a Storm Spirit type hero. But that would also leave you exposed to the high amount of disables of Shadow Shaman. Like, it goes both ways, right? He's an easy pickoff for you once you have the Orchid, but he's also kind of deadly in that he has so many disables against you.
I wonder, Fnatic, there is still a Naga Siren in the pool. There's still crazy pick of something like Medusa, which they picked up for Hani as well in the past.
Yep.
And, oh, there is actually a Lycan as well. Wow. Yeah, I mean, look at this stuff. 300 less HP on his level 3 ultimate, and suddenly he's not a tier 1 pick anymore. And I still want to say the hero is really strong at what he's great. And this is this crazy split pushing damage, especially against those tier 1s. And if we're watching Power Rangers right now, they do have some very mid-game focused lineup, but they can't really defend the towers nicely. If they get behind, the Lycan is going to do wonders here. At the same time, Lycan can't really fall behind. If he does, he's going to be in a world of hurt against this lineup of Power Rangers. He's going to get ganked, ulted by the Bane. So much lockdown. And you mentioned this. This is the Bane, no pun intended, against the Lycan.
You know, this is something that you're right. When he got that bit of a nerf, it didn't really affect how he was typically run. Like, he was typically run with Necronomicon, heavy split push, all this sort of deal. He wasn't really picked up for too much fighting action. Like, eventually he would get to that point, but for the first 25 minutes or so, he was oftentimes being used for split push. So, in that way, he didn't get nerfed at all. But the 300 HP nerf definitely does hurt him a lot in those actual team fights. So, if you're forced in those sort of situations where you can't actually just split push your way to victory here, and you are actually forced to fight, then that HP loss is actually a pretty big deal. Just less survivability on Lycan as a whole is going to hurt him quite a bit. The Lone Druid was an interesting pickup here from Power Rangers. They get themselves a little bit of pushing power as well as a solid solo. I'm thinking they're going to go a little bit team fight oriented with their last pick here. And sure enough, they get a Beastmaster, an excellent initiator. So I think they're going to be running this like sort of 4 versus 5 lineup where they take a look at Fnatic, they go, they're a little bit greedy here. They don't have nearly as much fighting power. Even with this last pick, they won't have enough fighting power to match our 4 heroes. So they can go ahead and run around with the tri-lane plus Beastmaster and let the Lone Druid just safely farm up as much as they want. Pimpmuckl, I'm leaning towards an aggro try here. It's obviously going to depend on what Fnatic pick up as their last hero, whether or not they feel that the mid is going to threaten them at all. But I personally am leaning heavily towards an aggro try, especially with the Lycan. He's another hero that does not really do well in tri-lane versus tri-lane scenarios.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. The Howl is great, but that's it.
Right.
You won't have any sort of levels up on those nasty wolves. I mean, Lycan is not going to get too many levels here, so he's kind of going to be underleveled, and that's a really big issue for him. So, it's going to be rather interesting. Although, one more thing here. Maybe Fnatic can pick something which enables them for a level 1 Roche. Because there is still a possibility. I don't think it's going to happen, but there might be some pocket strats coming out here. Against the Beastmaster and the Lone Druid, that's very hard to pull off, obviously, because there's going to be a beer scouting. But maybe still. I mean, we saw crazier things early on in especially Fnatic against Na'Vi, but
that's true, man.
Sure.
That Fnatic
All
versus
right.
Na'Vi game was so weird. Windranger, though, recently being buffed up a little bit, and we've seen the success of her. I gotta say, I'm a big fan of this Windranger being picked up in the mid role. We didn't really see, even when she was picked up mid back in the day, it wasn't seen as highly like physical damage oriented as she used to be. But Yeah, nowadays, I love watching it, man. The bust of Focus Fire make it so viable.
Dude, this is a one-position Wind Ranger. Hani
One
picks up the
position?
Lycan.
Okay. Okay. No,
I love this.
Uh-huh. Me too, man. Me too, because now I actually think twice about the aggro try. I think they can still work it out, but it's dangerous, man. When you have Hal coming out from the middle lane and then Chilling Touch on 3 ranged heroes, it's risky as hell to try and run that, because even if you do lead with a sleep arrow and they don't actually juggle it, if they still get off Chilling Touch and Hal, the chances are you're still going to be trading a kill for kill. You might get the kill first because you have extra burst damage while they rely on a little bit more right clicks, but I still think you're going to be trading quite a bit in this aggro try now that there's not going to be a Lycan, but is going to be replaced by a Wind Ranger.
Yeah, exactly. And you're looking at a potential plus 70 damage up on level 1 already. Just the Chilling Touch, as well as... Oh, and both of these guys are scouting each other out. Wait a second. Oh, no-tail. They don't see him yet. This is exactly the vision they have, and they have no idea that there is a no-tail. Oh, this could... Okay, now they know. All right. They know there is a ward as well. No-tail knows. Do they have a counter, though? Yes, they do. Oh, that's a big deal. No vision coming out from Power Rangers. That's such a big deal here. And, well, everyone else is just going to be completely fine. Successful defensive, successful.
Yeah, that was hugely important positioning situation there for No-Tail, spying that out with a... and I really like this ward, too, because it's a ward that you don't commonly see. Normally you see it in maybe these kind of areas. Maybe you have one of these. But it gives you some decent vision of what's going on in this tower area. It gives you a little bit of laning information. The vision is kind of cut off going into the jungle area, namely because of this tree. But it does give you that kind of heads up of what's going to be happening without having to put yourself too far out there. If he ran all the way in here, he would have gotten caught out. Trying to throw down the ward, he would have been slept up and probably arrowed, and that would have been first blood. So that ward and placing it from the hard camp is a pretty smart idea overall.
Also, No-Tail boots first, no other items, nothing else. He just wants to find kills. And, well, if you're playing a Shadow Shaman, he doesn't have any sort of good movement speed, so you might as well just pick up those boots. And they need to make stuff happen, though, in the top lane. That's going to be not an easy lane at all for Fnatic. Although we mentioned it's going to be way better than with the Lycan. And so far, well, everyone's just going to be going ahead, denying. I don't think they can really go here, FNG. No, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, not quite. Yeah, I mean, like, again, just 3 different range heroes. Not only is that we're going to work really well with a Hal Chilling Touch, but it's also really good for juggling sleep in order to dodge the obvious sleep arrow combo. So, you know, there are a lot of good ways for them to deal with this aggro try. At the middle lane, we're going to have a Beastmaster versus the Lycan, which should be a fine matchup for Hani. They actually did go in here, stunning up No-Tail. Sleep goes off on Era, and they're going to be able to get that first blood just before the Bane goes down. And now J4 keeps on going. They're going to turn on Era now, and the Cold Feet going off. They need another stun. Bro Strike's going to go off soon. Moon still gets held up by that Cold Feet, and J4 on his way out, but he's going to be copping a lot of damage here as he retreats. So in the end, not really going the favor of Power Rangers, despite the fact that it started out well with them getting the first blood.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you mentioned in the draft. Like, as soon as we saw the Wind Ranger, the turnaround potential is so huge. And this is just, yeah, this is just showing off here. And, well, suddenly it's a 1-for-2, and I'm not sure if Power Rangers really want to go back to this try. And it looks like they kind of don't. Having the Bane Mirana is going to be all there is to it. And you can just... I mean, you can just farm up the Mirana at this point in time. Maybe not get the kills, but this lane is not designed to get the kills. Anyway, it's not against the Wind Ranger. No way.
Yeah, I think they should probably put the Sand King in the safe lane now, have him pull, and I think that's their best option here. You don't have too much of a threat as a dual lane against this tri lane. While they can react pretty well, it's very obvious when they're trying to be aggressive. Their only hope of initiation is really the Shackle Shot. Shadow Shaman and all the disables that he has is also really lacking in longer range, right? Like, it's very obvious when he's running at you and trying to hex you up that they're trying to go. So for the most part, they should be able to respond fine. I think this dual lane could work out just fine, but they're going to bring the Sand King back anyway.
Yeah, but the only thing I still want to point out, mid lane, so far Hani is doing a really good job. He's leading the CS chart, even though there is a Beastmaster played by Scandal, who's going to be spamming out his wild axes, as well as his bottle crowing. So this should have been a way better lane. And meanwhile, well, top lane, there's your sleep and the arrow combination up onto Era, and they're just going to bring him down very fast. And now, well, it's a 2-for-2, and I was apparently wrong. I thought saying he would just go and head into the jungle and get his farm up there this way. But instead, they rotate him top, and they're going to get a kill. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I was in support of it too. I really thought that, you know, once you failed that, like, when you go aggressive Trine lanes, that first battle that happens, you have to win it. Like, once you lose one fight, normally it just ends up snowballing against you. You get a slight experience advantage to the enemy. They get level 3 before you. They have their next level of nukes. It's just a big advantage for them. On top of that, they also get a lot of room to be able to pull middle lane. They are going to try and sleep up here, the follow-up. They do have Burrow Strike coming in. He will be able to get in range in time, and that will be the kill as the Wild Axe is thrown out by Scandal and Shuret. So, good little gank there on Hani. And leaving Mirana apparently solo top lane. He's going to be chased out, but he probably won't be going down anytime. And the exact opposite of what I thought was going to happen here. FNG seems to be going to the bottom lane. They're going to try and just ensure some runes. Double damage is going to be found for him. And Scandal going to be on his way. So we'll see how these supports want to rotate. If they continue moving around, if maybe they go to this bottom lane, Cheshire Cat does have his level 3 bear, which with the Entangle, the long amount of disables that they have with the Burrow Strike and everything else, I think there's a pretty good chance you can rely on Entangle happening. And at that point, Lone Druid is not that bad of a laner.
No, absolutely. Lone Druid is actually excellent, especially against all those melees. And he picks up an Oof, so the Upper Venom is going to be helping out so much. And when there is a Bane rotating in, and suddenly it looks like it's going to be a mid lane gank, but there is no mana up on the Sand King, so I'm not sure what they're trying to accomplish here. But yeah, it's very good. And so far, well, Cheshire's Cat, he's just crushing the lane. Not as hard as I want to say I would have liked to, but he's still doing an excellent job. Trixie, though, he was early on cutting the waves behind this tower, so he actually got some experience under his own tower. And this is just how strong this Lone Druid is. And, well, here we go, mid lane, wraparound gank, but not finding anyone.
They really just keep on trying this over and over again. I think they had a very obvious timing, which was if they never revealed themselves, Beastmaster Scandal was about to hit level 6. And then you don't actually have to rely on the supports getting close enough. You actually have then the initiation with your laning heroes. So if they just sat back and not revealed themselves that they wanted to go for another gank on middle, I think there was a good chance they would have caught out Hani again. But because they revealed themselves a little bit too early before Scandal was level 6, he couldn't hit the stun. Hani walked away from the attempted disables, and then he just played passive from there. So until he sees these supports reveal themselves, he's probably not going to be going too far forward.
Yeah, exactly. This fear of the support combination is way too strong. And also, you have the damage and the Burrow Strike, so you've got so much lockdown. And then you have a Raw as well from Scandal. And you just don't want to give the Beastmaster his early kills, because suddenly he's going to be way, like, I don't know, Blink Dagger, Aghanim Scepter, whatever you name it. It doesn't matter. Because if he gets this sort of great start with a few kills here and there, he's going to be a real pain in the rear to deal with. But so far, well, it's a rather... I don't want to say...
Whoa! Damn! Did you see that arrow? That was a maxed out range arrow. He was just like kind of scouting that one, and there was obviously no way he could get a kill off of it. But that was rather lucky. I'm gonna call it lucky. I don't think I'm gonna call that skill because he had no vision. I think he just wanted vision of the jungle to be able to see what supports were in the area and whether or not he can move forward aggressively or not.
Once again, the mid lane. This is an issue for the side of Power Rangers. They're wasting so much time here. And they kind of do want to kill Hani. But Hani is playing this out as well as he's doing his Lone Druid. Oh, well. Top lane, move. Oh, he's going to be alright. Leaps away, it's going to be fine. But, you know, Hani just using his wolves to just blast it each and every time. And now also going into the Roshan. And suddenly, dire advantage coming into play here.
Yeah, but this is risky as hell, I feel. I mean, you already had the pressure of the two supports constantly moving around between these lanes. I feel that's really risky when you do have roaming supports like this. It doesn't take much to just, while you're checking a rune or something like that, to go and pop into the Roche pit, especially when Lycan is very obviously missing. Now the Shadow Shaman replacing him. There's nothing else that you do with a Lycan except for possibly jungle or go into Roshan. Roshan isn't down yet. That's a high priority for you to keep tabs on, and Power Rangers just have not checked and won't be checking at all.
Yeah, but since it's the Bane, as well as the Sand level... Oh, they go.
They start running towards that Roche pit. J-Force making his way over. Scandal is going to be revealing some of it. They see a bunch of heroes here. They now reveal Hani. Great double stomp. Now the double edge as well going out the stun on No Tail, but here comes the Baron. They're going to be able to finish off No Tail real quickly, but it's at the cost of Scandal's life, I feel. Maybe not. They don't have anything extra to be able to... Oh, the power shot comes in from Era. Nicely timed fly. An unfortunate disable there that's going to lead into the arrow. What a lucky entangle coming out from Cheshire Cat. They keep on moving forward, chasing away the rest of these heroes, and now they're going to check out Roshan. It is sitting at about 2,000 health, but that's way too much.
And I don't know, like, this is a bit risky here for the side of Fnatic. At the same time, though, PR, they could have tried to go for the Roshan themselves, but always there is this scouting out of the Lycan walls, keeping tabs on them. And,
yeah, and with the low death timers on everybody, I think we're just going to see like this big old standoff is what we're going to be seeing here. An Ice Blast does go down. They have a stun on Trixie. They're going to try and follow that up. Arrow's going to lead into the ramp, just making sure no heroes can come by. Trixie holding onto his stomp. Now going to try and throw it, but gets bursted down by the axes. No Tail's going to be next on the menu. He falls. Fnatic just losing hero after hero here as they're very, very well split up. I think that Arrow was a really smart decision. They had Centaur already locked in. They knew they would be able to burrow strike him. So the Arrow going out from the ramp made sure that no one could come down and defend him. They had to actually run away from the ramp in order to dodge the Arrow. And at that point in time, then Trixie's screwed. You're too split, and the Power Rangers staying as a tight-knit group. You can't really break that, especially not with the heroes that you have.
Yeah, and this is once again coming out here as a win for PR, which is surprising, but it all comes down to the Morana. Morana is so good, and you mentioned this, it's a zoning Arrow, as well as Cheshire Cat. He's got level 8, and his bear is on 2.7k HP and 6 armor. There is nothing you can do 10 minutes in against such a tanky bear. Nothing. And he's just going to right-click everyone down, and this is what happened. A few entangles, given they were really lucky and in really good positions, still, you kind of have to expect this as side of Fnatic, so I'm kind of surprised. And it just gets better for PR as soon as FNG gets his level 6. Because suddenly you're going to have an insane amount of just lockdown on the side of, well, PR.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, that was just, I felt like such a foolish idea trying to do Roshan like that when you have, when you're going up against a Beastmaster. Like, it's like trying to do it up against, like, a Clockwork mid or something. Like, he's right next to the Roche pit, and at any point in time, you can just throw a Hawk over there. The roaming supports, they're going to be around. Like, I think Fnatic were trying to, like, maybe get some sort of gank. They had 3 heroes already set in position. I don't think they expected Power Rangers to commit so many heroes to running to that Roche pit. But still, that was a very risky maneuver by them. Did not pay out at all. And possibly maybe even more heroes coming down. They're going to cut through these trees. Scandal was thinking about just ramboing through that tower there in order to get the stun. But instead, they're just going to push it down. They have the illusions coming out from Beastmaster, helping them out. If they could drag the creep wave away, this could be a large amount of damage on the tower.
Yeah, and I mean, they're pushing the top tier 1, and at the same time, there's going to be pressure being dropped here on this bottom tier 1 as well. Because there's just Cheshire's Cat. He's scouting out the ruins right now, and he's also keeping tabs on the Roshan. That's so smart of him. That's really smart play here. So he knows Fnatic, they tried to just, you know, do some sneaky stuff, and it just didn't work out.
And what are they really trading for? Like, they're pushing in this middle tier 1 tower, but it's not going to go down in time. So they won't gain that map control. Roshan still being contested enough that Hani can't go in there. I think they, in that sort of situation, when they see that many heroes, I think they needed a 5-man Roche. 5-man Roche or 5-man that middle tier 1 tower. They needed some sort of objective to be traded there because Power Rangers, with the way they spread and they kept tabs on everything, basically ensured that no one hero could take too much. Right? Like, Era by himself beating on the tier 1 tower was not going to be enough to take it. Hani beating on Roshan was not enough to take Roshan in time. If they committed to one goal instead of trying to spread themselves thin, maybe they could have actually traded decently. But now Power Rangers just continue the lead that they took after those devastating Roche fights for Fnatic. You could see already about a 1,500 experience lead and almost a 4,000 gold lead. So rather far ahead. Double damage going to be found by Scandal and might just run into Hani here as the Boar has revealed him.
And he's got his Aghanim Scepter very, very soon. This is such a quick Aghanim Scepter. And also Scandal, now he goes to the Raw. It's going to be noted, just getting dropped here. There's no way it's going to survive anything. Yeah, but here comes the turnaround Trixie ultimate, but he's getting slapped up. There's nothing they can do. They can't even dispel it in time here, it looks like. And that's all there is to it. Even Mirana ultimate was used. It's a good kill, but they've lost so many I want to say teamfight ultimates up from Fnatic. It was kind of worth it. Just kill down this super annoying Rasta, and he's not. He still has his ultimate, couldn't drop it.
Yeah, no, those rotations just means that now Power Rangers are going to be able to push down this bottom lane. All they have is an Ice Blast. They're going to try and teleport some heroes in. But even if Power Rangers don't take the tier 1 tower, it's still free damage. And as they rotate out, looks like they're able to get a kill on Trixie. So Scandal I'm not sure how they were able to land. It looks like
Arrow.
a sleep arrow combo is what got him.
But
But
arrow, so much hate.
yeah, they just put too many heroes going into that bottom lane, and they just continued the pressure. So Power Rangers doing a great job staying split and keeping pressure on Fnatic and always initiating at the right times.
Yeah, and at the same time, still, they're leading in CS, and this is something you usually see from those rather active teams. If you take down the kills, sometimes you just fall behind in farm, but since they're getting all those pickups and the towers to boot, and the CS as well, so it's just a win-win-win. What is not a win-win-win could be this Roshan here, but they're committing so much to it that you might as well just let it fall here. Yeah, and this is exactly what PR are doing. They've got a rally coming up rather soon here on Cheshire's Cat, so might as well just wait for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, ideally, you could have done a little bit more there, maybe take this bottom tower with the lone druid, but it took them a while to be able to realize, okay, they used wards for that, there are heroes surrounding the pit, we can't go for that Roche fight. I think that was wise of them not to go for it. And they still are farming up decently. FNG still pushing in that top lane. He's joined by Moon. They've got this nice little kill team here that any 1 or 2 heroes run at them, they're going to be caught. But 3 heroes is going to be a little overwhelming here for this combo. Question is whether or not Fnatic can catch him out. They do have the Centaur ultimate. It's going to go off. They get the sheep on Moon. Now the combo up with the shackles. Moon's going to be copping a lot here, but he still has a leap. And Centaur does not have that blink dagger. He's trying to get in range. The double edge will put him. No! Fiend's Grip coming out from FNG. Cancels it towards the end there. He's trying to get as many of it. Oh, beautiful little juking area too. Going to get back through the trees. Try and teleport away. Where's the disable? They get it in time. FNG, Moonlight Shadow. He might actually get away from them. The stun goes out. Counter ward will be enough to be able to get the kill, but at the same time, yeah, the bottom lane, they pushed in. They killed Wind Ranger earlier and took a tier 1 tower, possibly may even take a tier 2, and middle tower may fall soon as well.
Yeah, and if you pick up an Aghanim Scepter onto Scandal here this early on, your Raw has literally no cooldown. 45 seconds, this is nothing, and this is why I personally really like to see Aghanim Scepter if you actually get it off at such a great timing. Because sometimes we see Beastmaster just heading for the Blink Dagger. That's completely fine. But if you have the farm for this Aghanim Scepter, it's so good. And we can see this already. I mean, Scandal is doing a great job. Out of the 10 kills Power Rangers do have, Scandal was just doing work in 7 of them. And he died once. I mean, damn, this guy.
We're seeing, I feel like I'm watching a little bit of a nature documentary right now. You've got the pack of wolves hunting down the pack of boars coming out from Beastmaster. These poor little boars just don't really stand a chance against these hefty wolves. But they are just like all the pushing power. Oh, Jesus. Instant root. They don't have any follow-up, though. J4, he does not have his Blink Dagger yet. Unfortunately, it was coming to him, but he didn't have the jump Burrow Strike to be able to combo it up and maybe get a little extra damage. And I'm hearing like double edge. Trixie's just farming. He just needs his Blink Dagger as soon as possible, so he's trying to burst down some creep waves.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do, really? And now Fnatic, oh man, this is so much commitment in the mid lane. Get the tower, get the hell out of there, just right away. And now, yeah, they're just doing it, so smart play by Fnatic. And they even get the last hit on the Lycan. So suddenly, after his not that crazy start, I mean, he was doing great in the CS side, and he's still doing quite good. He actually got quite a few items, and the question is, what would you actually like to see? Do you want to see a Necrobook or a BKB here? Because I think one of those 2 items is going to be the right choice here.
Necrobook, not really favoring the BKB up against the Beastmaster, especially since he has Axe already. That disable mixed in with the potential Entangle plus Fiend's Grip, I think there are too many things to go through BKB that you can rely on it too much. So I think he's going to have to go the Necrobook route and just hope for the best that will be enough, because Power Rangers, with the way they're taking this lead, they're going to be able to just force some team fights here soon. Right now, they're doing a lot of split pushing and everything else, but I think eventually they will be forced to go for some team fights, but that's going to be after the Radiance is finished. That's really where you hit a big spike, where the Radiance is super effective with all that burn damage. It's on a very tanky unit that does not die very quickly. At that point in time, I think you have enough to be able to wreck team fights, especially since we have additional items like Aghanims on Beastmaster, like the Blink Dagger on J4. Those just kind of give you even more incentive to go for the 5v5. So I think we're going to see them 5-man down some of these tier 2s very soon.
And that's a very smart play by PR. They're taking down 2 towers at the cost of 1, pretty much. And now Fnatic, they're coming in. Oh, wow, this is so much commitment here. They need to get something done here. That's a nice shackle. It's a good start, but can they get the deny on the tower as well? Yes, they can. Okay, so they take 1. Are they going to be losing one, though, in the top lane? It looks like they're just content losing this one. No. Oh, arrows on cooldown. This could have been big. This could have been really big.
Look at FNG, though. He's sitting in this little corner. He ate himself a little hole there and was ready just to be able to protect the Mirana if anything went tits over.
It would be a 3 versus 5, but they had no idea that FNG actually keep it out. Alright. Rather unfortunate. Rather unfortunate.
Maybe they can catch it out. Well, of course, they can't really go for Hani here. He does still have that Aegis. They can try and lead into a Burrow Strike arrow stun, but committing the epicenter to killing him is not going to be worth it. So,
yeah, I agree.
For the most part, I don't think they're going to be really trying to look for it. Trixie is coming in to back up this Lycan, and Power Rangers are wisely teleporting away at the right times. J4 may stick out here, though. If he feels like this push is really coming in, he could sit in this hidey hole right here, throw down the epicenter, and he's got a huge range to be able to catch out heroes. Wherever the team fight occurs is all in this area he can get to with that one position. So I think this is really smart. The rest of Power Rangers need to get to this tier 1 tower, though, to help him contest.
Yeah, and there's no way Fnatic can actually see this. Oh, now he's channeling, and now let's see the damage. It's a good one. No, it's actually only hitting on Trixie, but he's gonna get blown up by the ultimate. Not Scandal.
Scandal had his Ace Rune. He turned into a chicken, but is able to get away. The bear is going to be beat down. They know the Radiance is up on it. Hani's trying to commit. They will kill the bear finally. So a Centaur in exchange for 300 gold coming out from the bear. It's not terrible for Fnatic, but they just were unable to really stick around these wards, which means they're just going to be farmed up. So that's a little bit extra gold. Sure, they might have gotten the tier 1 tower, but it's certainly at a cost, and I feel that Power Rangers can now push in aggressively. They know that the Centaur Ultimate's going to be on cooldown for a little while, and the Serpent Wards as well is another big ability. So they can probably take this tier 2 and probably transfer into middle lane and push that tier 2 as well. I feel the Radiance is just going to be such a strong factor that they need to push this advantage that they have right now.
Yeah, I agree. Although this still would have been a way better team fight for Power Rangers in my I don't know. Like, I was sure Power Rangers are gonna crush it, and they kind of only lost Trixie. And now FNG, oh, he's getting completely cut out. FNG, what the hell was he thinking? Now there comes the ultimate once again from Scandal. Oh, that's a good one. Nice Burrow Strike up on. And then Moonlight Shadows, it does do so much work here. It's a very good shackle, but Trixie is gonna be... Oh, no, Trixie's still alive, and Notel as well as Hani, they're both going down, and oh no, Arrow, that's a good sleep. And is he gonna get brought out? Oh, Trixie reinitiation. Finding 3 stuns, but can you really get away? It doesn't look like it.
They're splitting their damage a little bit too much, and that means with the Centaur Ultimate, they will be able to get out. They brought both heroes below half health. If they focus one or the other with all their damage, it would have been an easy kill, but they got a little greedy. They got a little greedy and were punished for it, as Fnatic was able to walk away decently intact. That was such a great little situation there. The Roar stopping the Shadow Shaman, freeing up the Bane, and he immediately turned down, Fiend's Grip the Lycan, while the double Burrow Strike through, grabbing the Wind Ranger as well. That was the key thing, like stopping that Wind Ranger from being able to throw down a Shackle, or stopping Shadow Shaman from being able to throw down like a Hex on that Bane just allowed them to completely destroy the team fight. No Tail gonna jump in here on Moon. Whoa. He's gonna finish him off. This is a deep dive, but he will be worth it if he can get Moon, but he doesn't get it. I think he mismicroed his wards a little bit, and now he falls. And that just means not only a kill going the way of the Radiant, but also, again, that ward, precious ward gold.
Crazy no-tail.
Crazy no-tail indeed, man.
Moon is mad. He's getting so much hate in this game so far. And he actually didn't die. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know how Moon survived there. He was at like half health, surrounded by wards, and was shackled. I think he missed a couple of ward hits there. That was a bit unfortunate there. That should have secured it.
That's crazy. Anyways, so what Lycan actually went for, and this is I want to say a really good pickup, it's going to be a heart. Because you mentioned it, like, BKB is not going to be helping you at all. But there's way too much damage on PR. Because this Lycan, he can't run rampant as much as he want to. But right after all those disables are done, maybe he's going to be this very annoying frontline sort of tanky style guy who's just going to go in. Because he's already doing the damage. And the real one position carry is going to be Era. He is going for the Aghanim Scepter, so Oh, yeah. Oh, no, FNG. This is going to be big here.
The sleep. Epicenter will go off eventually here from J4. Meanwhile, they're just going to rely on their single target disables. And once Fnatic come out to start committing, here comes that Epicenter. Comes in, grabs 2 with that Burrow Strike. Fly, not going to live. Arrow will be able to get out. Good Force Staff is going to save J4 for a little bit. The Wolves are in hot pursuit, but they're going to get cleaned up real quickly. They only get the 1 kill there. That came out from J4. Trixie's low. Arrow's going to come out. Snags no tail. The Shackle Shot goes out, but it's not going to be enough as the burn from the Bear is going to be enough, and now they can start beating down these tier 3s. Glyph is going to be popped, and it looks like Power Rangers, they're happy with just forcing that one out. They're going to back up now and just continue to push in some of these side lanes. Both bottom and top are already pushing in, so there's a large amount of farm available to them right now. So they would just want to take that. They don't want to push their luck too much. It's not like they really fall off anytime soon. I feel they will fall off a little bit. It's only the Lone Druid and the Mirana who really will carry on. Actually, as I say that, Beastmaster with an Ags, he could probably build into even something oriented towards like a Necro book, maybe an AC, but that's typically on the Lone Druid. But he's actually pretty damn decent going into late game as well. So as I say that, I feel like Power Rangers have really good late game compared to Fnatic, who only really have the Lycan. Wind Ranger, I feel like she's more of a mid-game carry. Focus Fire is strong, but I don't really place it in the you're gonna go late game and just crush everyone with only your single target ability.
I'm actually not sure. I think the Focus Fire is gonna be excellent in taking down the Bear.
That's true.
And if you take this one out of the equation, the only real carry is gonna be Moon. Everything else is just gonna be CC. The CC is great, like don't get me wrong, it is just gonna be going through the BKBs whenever there's any sort of BKBs up on Fnatic. And this is why it's great in the late game as well. But just from a raw damage point, I want to say this Wind Ranger pickoff can work out. The issue is, Era is completely under-leveled. He's got no levels to speak of. He's level 9. Everyone else in the game is like way higher than he is. And we can just see on the level chart, on the hero level chart, the whole Trunner of Fnatic is way too under-leveled. And that's really baiting them in the rear here.
Yeah, like we're talking about Focus Fire when Era doesn't even have a level of it. And I'm expecting he would go for it now that we're getting a little bit later. No, he's still going to go Wind Run. I really thought he was going to go Focus Fire at 10 and 11, despite the fact that I think a lot of Wind Rangers, this build makes sense, but I feel like you're getting a little bit late into the game now. Like 25 minutes, you need to start having that Focus Fire, planning for the future, because what happens if you don't actually start winning these team fights and you don't have Focus Fire available when the Bear does push in? I think that was an excellent point, that Focus Fire will be strong against him, but it's going to depend on Era actually having those levels, and also going to need Ags as well.
Yeah, and he needs a damage item right after us so far. And this is why I'm kind of fine with not picking up Focus Fire. He's not doing anything. His damage is 86. If you combine this with the damage reduction, 50% on level 1, or like it would be 40 right now, because he doesn't have the Aghanim Scepter up for a long time. 1.3k gold still to be farmed. It just is not coming online. Oh, they actually find FNG here, or are they? No, this is... Oh, they're trying to sniff him out here, it looks like. What is this ward here? What the...
I'm not really sure. Well, I'm waiting for him to leave. It looks like you do get vision of inside the pit, inside their base. You see that?
Yeah, you're right. Like this angle here? That's pretty good.
That is very interesting. That is a whole new ward. I'm not entirely sure why they placed so many goddamn wards in this area. Like, they have this whole entire lane completely surrounded. Now, 2 of them are older wards, but they were still placed in very close proximity to each other.
You shall not fire.
Very, very, very odd.
I don't know. Maybe it's just for the Sand King to just like stay up here and then have a great epicenter ultimate. I'm not sure. Oh, the Bear could be in a bit of trouble. If they get a Bear from the smoking, this is pretty much the best trade they can actually hope for right now. And if you give this to Era for some way... please give
it's going to go down. There's no way it's getting away. So, good pickoff. Cheshire Cat forced to summon a new one. And
in 2 minutes, they'll double Bear.
Yeah, probably not looking to fight for the next 2 minutes, you're right. But take a look back at that gold lead. It has stagnated a little bit as we haven't seen any team fights go down. So, Fnatic are keeping up with Power Rangers. Like, ever since the team fight stopped, and we had more farming going on, Fnatic are doing a decent job keeping up, despite the fact that they obviously have much less area to be able to farm up. They're locked inside their base most of the time. They can only farm really the lanes. I don't think they can really go out and farm the jungle anytime soon. So Power Rangers should be able to get a lot more out of the map, but it seems Fnatic are doing a decent job keeping up, and a part of that is going to be the split push coming out from Hani, as he's pushing pretty aggressively in this bottom lane.
Yeah, speaking of Hani, he's got his heart completed as well as 1.2k gold in the bank. So he is going to be way more tanky now. And I feel like this is exactly the frontline carry Fnatic need, because Trixie suddenly, he's got way less HP.
He sees what's about to happen. You've got a hasted up Scandal who's going to get nice and close. Now the Centaur ultimate going up, but it's perfectly timed by Scandal, who stuns him up, and there goes that ultimate. Now Hani is transforming himself into a big bad wolf. He will be able to walk away, but they know that's on cooldown, where the Aghanim's upgrade for this Beastmaster means it's going to be off cooldown in just a very short amount of time. So if they want to, they can try and abuse that about 20-second gap where they have Beastmaster ultimate, but Lycan doesn't have his. And they could, but that would depend on them pushing out pretty aggressively right now, and it doesn't look like they're going to.
Yeah, it's way too much of a commitment, I feel like. And at the same time, well, just have J4 farming up top lane. He's now going to force up as well. So even if he doesn't have the most perfect initiation, he can just burst strike, and then his ultimate is going to just wreck people. What I like, though, Centaur, Trixie, so he picked up a pipe. He doesn't have any sort of HP pool, but I mean, at this point, he's just a suicide bomber anyway. Blink in, double edge, storm, stampede, and pop your pipe for your whole team whenever you see this hacking ulti, and that's it. I mean, Trixie doesn't have anything more, and that's alright. Picking up the pipe is a very big one. Still, I kind of want to have him go for any sort of sustain, maybe even a heart on himself, and then you have those super carries, super tanky guys in the front lines with the Era as well as Trixie, and maybe Era can just. What did I say? I said Era. I want to say Hani and Trixie. Here we go. And Era can just go from the backlines. And
No Tail, he's going to jump on FNG. Doesn't get the ward trap. Needs to find a shackle here. No Tail doesn't get it. That's another big mistake there from No Tail. That's twice now that he's tried to pick off a hero with the wards and has failed in some aspect and has not been able to get the kill. I want to actually point out Era's build right here, and this is why I wanted to see him getting Focus Fire at 10 and 11. Planning for the future, right? Unless you just happen to get lucky enough to get a whole bunch of levels, if you start leveling up Windrun, you're not going to have level 2 Focus Fire, I think, when you need it. But, as I say that, Era, he doesn't actually finish up the Ags. So, okay, now his build makes more sense. If you're not going to finish up the Ags and you go Maelstrom, then sure, fine. Maxing out Windrun and having no levels of Focus Fire is alright.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, hold up. Nope. Fiend's Grip going up, but it's going to be immediately stopped. No Tail now being stunned up. They're not going to be able to get that last hit. Pipe is going down, and J4 has to blink himself away. FNG does not get caught. Good Force Staff. Double Force Staff going out, getting himself some distance away from a Fnatic who were looking to finish him off, and now this bear just keeps on going. It's got Radiance. It's got a Mjolnir active on him. If he can get this entangle, 1-2 shot. No, the Burrow Strike was so damn close there, but not quite getting it. Cheshire Cat could have microed his bear a little bit better, but...
Holy shit. But there is no Aegis anymore, it just got expired. Oh, yeah. Alright. Yeah. So Hani is really careful here.
Yep, with the AC that was picked up by the Lone Druid earlier. Now they're going to try and jump in. Good shackle shot, but not in the position they wanted to see it. They need to catch out this bear when he's up the ramp. If they go down the ramp at all, they're probably going to be going into a bad team fight. They just want to pick off this bear and see if they can kill it real quickly, as they are going to be losing their tier 3 if they don't commit sometime soon. Now they're going to go on it. There goes Hani, stunned up, but it does have that art. It's going to be a trade. Him, oh, J4, he actually jumped in, going for the supports in the back. One goes down. Now the other's going to fall. No Tail. He just needs one more hit. No, he just force staffs himself down. He doesn't think it's worth the trade. So No Tail will get out. Trixie now popping the ultimate as well. Hani, he's still alive thanks to that heart, but he's being chased away. The tier 3 tower has gone down. Power Rangers, they're still alive and kicking. They're going to finish off these wards, maybe get the melee racks before they back out. Ice Blast will force them back a little bit. There goes the melee racks. Not sure if they can commit to the range racks in time, but it doesn't look like Fnatic will get there. Power Rangers, they claim their first set of racks, and they will back out in complete safety, not losing a single hero there. Whoa, I spoke too soon. Scandal gets hit by the stun. Now the follow-up double edge, and Hani will be popping the ultimate to catch up with him.
That's a really big kill. Now suddenly Fnatic are spotting a gem. And the problem Fnatic had was also the map control. This is why No Tail went for those crazy big plays, which didn't work out in the end. Because now he's gonna have his gem, and now he can just de-ward his heart out. There's not many wards anyways now up on the map from PR, because they just farm the whole map, so you don't really need wards anyways. But still, that's a good one. And they are losing their Rex, which is kind of overdue. I would have said like 10 minutes ago that Power Rangers should have had a Rex. But so far, Fnatic, they're still not out of this game. It's gonna be very, very hard to come back here, especially with the Basher up now on the Bear as well. And Lycan is going to have a very bad time in those fights. But, I don't know, maybe Era can just surprise me with some crazy Aghanim Scepter ultimates. I'm not sure, but we're going to find out very soon, I guess.
Yeah, I really want to see, like, he's got the Mjolnir. He's got, like, even at this point, like, if he went for the Aghanims, he would have a 15. Like, he goes from a 50% to, in a short amount of time, with another level, and then the Aghanims, he goes from 50% damage reduction to 15. Going for the Mjolnir, I'm fine with, but now that you have the Mjolnir, like, you still need that attack speed to be able to kill that bear faster. I don't care if it's like at level 1, 50% damage reduction. At least you're going to be able to get off a whole bunch of procs of that Maelstrom. So not only you're doing a lot of damage to that bear, but you're also killing all the creeps that are following up that bear. I kind of feel like he needs that in order to beat back the bear. Trixie's going to get initiated on. Looks like he's going to be popped. Pipe goes out, but the follow-up stun catches a bolt. Well played by J4. Mega kill streak going the way of both Moon and Cheshire Cat. And now Power Rangers in a great position to mop up even more. As Era's been caught out by the sleep. The follow-up stun. Easiest kill of their life. And now they should be able to take down a second set of Rex. And dare I say it, but I feel like Fnatic are going to be calling the GG here sometime soon. 2 racks down. They only have 6 kills to their name. They're going to try one last stand here. Fnatic, the odds are against them here for this whole entire team fight. Half of the wards are already down now. J4 is being stunned up. Hani's trying to do what damage he can, but with the heart build, he's not doing much. There goes one hero. Now Hani's going to fall as well. The instant buyback from No-Tail to try and save him, but the Maelstrom proc says no. Power Rangers, they do take their second set of racks, and GG is the call from No-Tail. So Power Rangers, I don't think many people were betting on them going up against Fnatic. But there is a reason that they're tied with Fnatic in the Dota 2 Champions League Season 3 right now, and it's because they do provide these sort of upsets. So the first game will go their way. However, these are 2-game series. All the matches in Dota 2 Champions League Season 3 are all 2-game series. So we have one more match to go. We're going to take a short break, play some music, play some commercials, and we'll be back with Game 2 of Fnatic versus Power Rangers.